Well, it's very interesting to recount the history of Holman-Howe Funeral Homes. My father used to sit and just tell stories about the stories that he'd heard about the founding of the business.
Before the highways were paved, before air conditioning cooled the Ozarks, a stately home stood on South Adams. Built in 1895, over the decades it changed hands from a U.S. congressman to a department store owner until one man saw something more. In 1933, Elmer Holman turned this house into a place of purpose, creating a funeral home that would serve generations. This is the story of Elmer Holman and the beginnings of Holman-Howe as we know it.
The original home, I'll start there, was built in 1895 by a very prominent family by the name of Bantley. The Bantley family is recorded in various sources in Laclede County history as the owner of a large lumber company. And they built the house in 1895, and then it was lived in by them for a few years. And then after they decided to do something else or build a different house, they sold the original home to the T.L. Ruby family. And T.L. Ruby was Lieutenant Governor of Missouri at the time, and then he later became a United States Congressman. In fact, he's one of the only United States Congressmen, I believe, in the 20th century from Lebanon. It was the home of the Ruby family until about 1928.
Historical Homes by Howard McClure. The death of Mrs. Fanny Ruby, widow of the late Congressman Thomas L. Ruby, meant more than the passing of an old resident. It also meant the passing of one of Lebanon's most charming old-time homes. Mrs. Ruby had no family to take over and live in the old home, and it now will pass to other hands, its future uncertain. The Ruby home, as it has been known for many years, formerly was the Bantley home, and is one of the largest and most imposing homes in Lebanon.
And then the home was sold to Mr. Ashenhurst, who was the Ashenhurst department store family founder downtown Lebanon. And then it was very quickly after that, he spun it and sold it to Elmer Holman, who had a funeral home in Conway, Missouri.
To the people of Conway and community, we wish to take this means of thanking everyone in the community for the many friendships we have formed while we have lived and served among you, for the loyal support and many kindnesses shown us. Should the occasion arise that you need the services we can render, we will serve you the same from Lebanon as if we were here, without any additional expense. Call Elmer Holman, Lebanon, Missouri. Collect phone 220. Again, thank you, and extending a cordial invitation to visit us in our new home in Lebanon. Very truly, Elmer and Willie Jane Holman.
And ironically, his father had been in business here. We can actually trace our roots back to about 1917, whenever Holman and Stewart had a storefront undertaker firm downtown Lebanon. And so Mr. Holman, Elmer Holman, the junior, was very intuitive that Lebanon needed a funeral home, not just a storefront undertaker. And up till that time, Lebanon had been served by the Palmer Undertaking Company. They had a furniture store and undertaking company downtown Lebanon. Holman and Stewart were downtown. There was a Hickman family that was downtown for a few years. In fact, their name is there by where Wayner's Bakery used to be on the wall still. And they were here really for just a few years. But our history, we claim, is to 1933 because we're the same location at that point from 1933. And Elmer Holman did something very unique for Lebanon in that he started the first funeral home. And when we say a funeral home, that is a place where the funeral could actually be held. It was, till that time, funerals were being held in churches or in private family homes.
Where shall the funeral be held? When this question arises, three possible answers naturally suggest themselves. The home offers privacy in the surroundings associated with the life of the departed loved one. The church affords larger accommodations and the atmosphere of spiritual faith and comfort. The funeral home, plus the greater efficiency and comfort of an establishment designed for the purpose. In our modern funeral home, we have tried to combine the seclusion of a refined home, reverential atmosphere of a church, and the natural advantages of a building planned for mortuary use. Of course, we will conduct the service wherever the family may desire. In this, as in all other details, their wish is our law. Elmer Holman Funeral Home, Lebanon, Missouri.
Mr. Holman was a pretty entrepreneurial guy,
And in 1933, when the building opened, he decided to have an open house, which wasn't a particularly novel idea, and we still do that today. Something that has fallen out of favor today is register books. And so he set out register books for this open house. And what he actually publicized for the open house was to have different community members come and not only write down their name in the register book, but also to write down which church they were from. So as people come in, they write down their name, they write down what church they're from, and the church that had the most attendees at the open house actually won an award, which was $5. And so that really did drive a great deal of foot traffic when the building opened, and it allowed the country churches that were out of town to participate in it as well and really open it up to the entire county.
We thank you. We wish to thank the people of Lebanon and the surrounding communities for the courtesies extended to us during the opening of our funeral home. Awards for the church registrations were made to the following: Lebanon, Madison Avenue, ME Church; Rural, Candock Community Church; Out of Town, Conway, ME Church. To those who were unable to attend the formal opening, we extend an invitation to visit us anytime. The Elmer Holman Funeral Home.
So my father actually started here at Howe in 1934. He was just out of high school. Actually was still in high school, I believe. And he came and worked here less than a year after the funeral home was founded.
Thank you for watching The Home Part 1. In Part 2, we'll be visiting Howe, exploring the Holman's ambulance service and their contributions during the war. Special thanks to Kenny and Taylor Howe for granting access to make this documentary possible, to Eric Tudor for the incredible research, and to Luke Kenworthy for the drone footage. And thank you, the viewer, for making this project possible. Download the Lebanon Now app for alerts on upcoming episodes and exclusive extra features. This has been a Lebanon Now documentary presentation.